Hey everyone, this is Matt Kearns. This is my video for our evangelism class. I've really enjoyed being in it with you guys and reading some of your responses. I hope you guys have been encouraged just like I have and hopefully learned a few things along the way too. One of the areas that I really took to throughout this class was Dr. Chan's book. I just really loved how he put it so eloquently. It was so readable. It was so easy to translate and learn from. And I just really enjoyed that. But specifically, I really enjoyed his sixth chapter on the postmodern worldview. And the reason I really enjoyed it is because right now I currently am the youth director at our church. And so I deal with students, mostly teenagers, young adults, and most of them share this worldview. And so it's been quite a challenge for me to try to share a biblical worldview to them. And I can confess I haven't done it as eloquently or as great as I can. But Dr. Chan's book has definitely given me some good tips, and so that's why I've really enjoyed it. You know? And yeah, I mean, he talks about some of these assumptions that are made in the postmodern worldview, and the one that I clearly see as day is that there's no universal truth. I hear this from students all the time that things like, oh, that's their truth, or there has to be multiple ways to God, or like people are all searching after the same God, like every religion's the same, things like that. And so to hear or to read Dr. Chan discuss some of these assumptions that make up the postmodern worldview helped clarify some things for me. And then he goes on and gives us some tips and some hints on to how to approach and how to best evangelize and best discuss the faith with this demographic of people. And he talks about being just being yourself, that they really enjoy authenticity. It's one thing that really appeals to them. Same with hospitality. How can I be more inviting, more comforting, more loving, more compassionate towards the my students at least, but others as well too. He talks about using stories and how these are really great, and we should use them more often, which I'm finding out is in fact true. My students do respond really well when I use stories, and sometimes fall asleep when I'm or doze off when I'm not so much doing that and just trying to give them facts and information. So I really appreciated that from Dr. Chan. That was some really good advice. And then he looks at the last part of that chapter. He talks about preaching significance in that, in our church world, we oftentimes do the 80/20, right? 80% on the context, the story, reading the scriptures, and then 20% on its meaning and implications. And he says for the postmoderns, we should flip that around and do about 80% on like why it's impactful and what it's helping them learn or grow or teach them. And so I'm going to be using that a lot more in the way I approach and talk to them. For the second part of the video, we've been asked to talk about our essay and what we think is maybe the most central facet of our approach into integrating evangelism in our life. And for me, it's on the topic of apologetics. I've really enjoyed learning about apologetics over the past couple of years, whether reading books or watching videos, YouTube and stuff. And I've listened to several prominent apologetics teachers, and I've learned quite a bit from them. But this class has really helped me find out really the reasons and the motivation for doing apologetics, and that it's not just about trying to win an argument. It's not about just trying to be right. It's not even just about just showing them what is true, because even doing that, they might say, that's great, okay, and then move on. But it really comes from a heart of wanting this person to know Jesus. We talked about our definition, which is persuading them to repent and put their faith in Jesus. And for me, it's like apologetics that is what we want to do with apologetics. We don't just want to win the argument, put another check mark on the resume, but we really want to have a heartfelt compassion for people, that they would understand their sinful nature, understand their separation from God. They would repent and turn from it, and they would put their trust in Jesus. And in doing so, we continue to encourage them to not only go out and they continue to explore the Christian faith, but hopefully to join a church, to become discipled, and then hopefully go and disciple other people, and then they can continue the process of evangelizing others. And so it's disciples making disciples, not because we can boast about something, in front of God, or it helps us with our pride, but really out of the compassion we have for others. And that's one thing I've looked at from this class and from some of the biblical texts I've been looking at, is Jesus's compassion for people, and I need to better implement that into in my evangelism in my own life. Yeah, so I really hope you guys have had a good class and have enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing some of your videos, and commenting hopefully on some of them. If I get to see you guys again in a future class, I'll be excited to do that. And if I don't, well, I want to wish you guys a happy summer. Go enjoy it. Let's all do it, and all things that we do for the glory of God. See ya.